It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about why we still don't have a state budget. People are getting laid off and services are getting pulled. Just as construction began on the new City Hall bike lanes, the future of the project is unclear. Plus, what's up with the art museum's new name and rebranding? It's Friday, October 10th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
What's up, Trenae?
Y'all, today is our 749th episode.
Woo!
Pew, pew, pew. You had that already lined up for us.
I did. I brought out the sound effects for the 749th episode.
Yes. Thank you.
Trenae, congratulations. I mean, you have hosted probably 99.9% of these 749 shows. That is so much CityCast Philly. I've only been here a year, so I've proudly participated in 100 or so. But congratulations. You've done this with grace and good humor and passion for our city. So I'm looking forward to a couple of hundred more. Maybe a couple, maybe 749
more.
And it's an amazing accomplishment. It's so much. It's so many podcasts. Also,
it is.
Congratulations, of course, to our producer, Abby Fritz, who has been here from the very beginning with you as well.
Bravo, Abby.
Abby, congratulations. You have helped inform our city and brought Philadelphians a bit closer alongside Trenae. So, all righty, let's get on with number 749.
Well said. And I wish we had 749 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, for the third year in a row, this Phillies team with a core of stars like Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, they failed to reach the World Series. A third year in a row in which they were in the playoffs and couldn't get over the hump. Their season is now over. They lost 3-1 to the Dodgers in the National League Division Series last night. So if you see people walking around today sort of sullen and sort of angry, that is why. Huge disappointment. This team is certainly talented enough to be among the best in baseball, but they sucked in the first 2 games of the series. They lost 2 at home. Hardly anyone got a hit, and it turned out it was just a hole too deep for them to dig out of. So I think the makeup of this club is probably going to change going forward. But the good news, our city's focus is now squarely and entirely, or mostly, we also have the Union to root for, but squarely focused on the first place Eagles. Go Birds.
On to other news, Matt. It's been more than 100 days since Harrisburg passed a budget. House Speaker Joanna McClinton was in Harrisburg with a lot to say.
Good afternoon. I want to say it's a good afternoon, but it's 100 days since the Senate Republicans have not passed the budget. I want to say it's a good afternoon, but we got rape crisis centers closing. We've got county offices laying people off. We have senior centers closing their doors in Westmoreland and Indiana counties. This is not a good afternoon because it's 100 days and the Senate Republicans are shutting this state government down. Every week, we've been close to a deal. Every week, we're at the 1-yard line. Every week, the Senate Republicans forget they've got governing partners over in the House where we are ready to rumble and we're always ready to compromise. No matter how much we're ready to compromise, it's another excuse. Another excuse not to do the fundamental job of our voters sending us into this Capitol and be good stewards over their tax dollars.
The speaker said she was ready to rumble, ready to compromise.
Yeah, I was going to say that McClinton, for people who don't know, is from Philly, but I think when she said we're ready to rumble and we're ready to compromise, it is clear she's from Philly.
Yeah.
But, you know, there seems to be no compromise on the horizon. I mean, this is certainly in the lapse of Senate Republicans who could just approve the budget that the Democratic-controlled House and Democratic Governor Shapiro have proposed and have presented, but they're not doing that. They haven't really offered a compromise. This week, the Democratic majority state House did actually pass a $50.25 billion budget package, which was actually $1.3 billion less than what Governor Shapiro had originally proposed. So the Democrats are saying, okay, we are going to compromise with the Republicans who want lower spending. We're taking $1.3 billion off the table, but the Senate GOP didn't really respond to that. They said they didn't have time to review the proposal, and there looked like there was no compromise coming. So, I mean, it does seem like it is something that the Republicans in the Senate could just get done immediately. But at the same time, I do wonder what Shapiro is doing here. He's the governor. He has the most leverage in the situation, right? I mean, he can control a wide range of state spending and services and priorities. So are there any pressure points he can exert on Republicans in their rural districts in order to get this compromise through on a spending plan? It seems that this really can only end with his heavy-handed involvement. But in the meantime, people are getting screwed over.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you just heard McClinton say that there's a rape crisis center in Philly that's getting shut down because of this. That is shut down now because they don't have any money from the state. So that means no 24/7 rape crisis hotline, no therapy for victims. And there's like other issues too, right, Trenae? I mean, financial aid for thousands of Pennsylvania college students is now on hold.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you continue to listen to what the speaker said, she did talk about leadership here. And it was interesting that you just made that point about Governor Josh Shapiro. And what is the message you are sending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the backdrop of all this is a federal government shutdown and same issues with spending and Republicans wanting to spend less. But here in Pennsylvania, it's been very clear that there are ways to garner some new revenue, and yet we're not trying that.
Right.
Where's that at in all of this?
Why aren't we legalizing and taxing cannabis?
Speaking of cannabis, over in Jersey, people are just smoking at lounges.
Yeah, legal lounges opened in Merchantville, which is literally right over the bridge. You could run from Old City, go take bong hits on a couch legally in New Jersey, and then run back into Philly. And if you can't get weed, it's still like technically illegal to have weed. I mean, it is nuts that Philadelphians, Pennsylvanians are going over to New Jersey to buy marijuana, to get high, and giving tax dollars to New Jersey. And we have this, budget crisis here, and the legislature can't seem to figure out that, it's time to legalize cannabis if all of the other states around us are doing it and collecting all of Pennsylvanians' weed tax dollars. Like, come on now. What's going on?
So, Matt, you shared with me this week that there was a new Franklin and Marshall College poll where residents of Pennsylvania say the biggest problem facing our state is not the economy, which is what they said last time they were polled, but that politicians and government
That's the biggest problem. That's what they're saying is the biggest problem facing Pennsylvania. And it's no wonder we don't have a budget 100 plus days after it was due.
And another thing that's probably not helping us is suddenly a contentious and very expensive race for state Supreme Court.
Yes.
Now, you might hear the phrase judicial retention. I've seen a couple of people starting to make videos on TikTok about this, which is great because it's like, what is that? Mm-hmm. Judicial retention is basically speaking on the upcoming election. And we're going to have to vote on Supreme Court justices.
Mm-hmm. And whether or not to give them another 10 years on the bench. So these are 3 Supreme Court justices that are up for retention. There's other judges up for retention, but this is the big race, right? Because it's the state Supreme Court, and all 3 judges are Democrats. And the Democrats have a 3-seat majority. So if these Democrats don't win their retention election, they're off the court. And then what happens? We have a 2-2 tie split between Democrats and Republicans on the state Supreme Court. So if those Pennsylvanians who were polled don't think government is working now, if they think government is a problem now, just wait until the Supreme Court does not have a majority and can't really decide on things and is inevitably going to be stalemated on all kinds of issues. So as a result, there is so much money being spent by the political parties to try to sway this election. So CNN...
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. CNN reported Democrats have already spent $4 million, Republicans $1.5 million, but that money and spending is expected to go way up. Governor Shapiro himself appeared in an ad, and now I'm getting these impassioned, maybe hyperbolic emails from Democratic groups, like spam emails. And they sound a little over the top. Can I read you a little bit? If we lose this court, if we lose the Supreme Court, MAGA will seize control of Pennsylvania and will implement an extreme abortion ban, redistrict the Pennsylvania congressional map, making it blood red, and rig the 26 midterms and 28 presidential in the penultimate swing state. 19 electoral college votes down the drain. Our democracy is dying, said another email. And in exactly 1 month, Trump could deal the killing blow. The November 4th Pennsylvania court election is life or death for democracy.
Oh, my God.
It's a little over the top.
Yeah, and a word like penultimate, just like speak regular words to me.
I mean, it is alarmist, these emails, but the reality is there are, in fact, major implications, which is why everyone is spending so much money. And specifically, if Republicans had control of the court, they could decide cases involving abortion rights, school choice, voting, election law, which could end up on the election front, could end up favoring the Republican candidate for governor in 2026 and for president in 2028, because our state, as we know, can swing national elections. So it is something that the Republicans are hungry to control. The court has also ruled on congressional maps, which influence how many congressional representatives from each party our state sends to Washington. So that could help determine control over Congress. And I mentioned the state Supreme Court could at some point be asked to affirm abortion as a right in the state or make it illegal. So yes, there are big issues at play, but this is the craziest part. So if they lose the retention election, the three Democrats. So then it's a 2-2 split. And then what happens? The governor and the state Senate would appoint the replacements until another election in a couple of years. But you're looking at me sideways.
We can't even get a budget signed.
Exactly. So if the Democrats lose, you'd have this situation where Shapiro and the Republicans would be first fighting over who gets appointed to the Supreme Court. And I mean, maybe they can't agree on anybody. And then you're in a situation where we have a 2-2 stalemate on the Supreme Court, and then I feel like the whole government just breaks.
Who wrote this script? We've got more news after the break. Well, we just were in Harrisburg. Let's go down to City Hall. Mm-hmm. We talked about this on the show before. We're going to get these new bike lanes around City Hall. Big project.
Yep.
But Councilmember Jeffrey Young, who actually wrote a bill that would make all of this happen, may now be taking a turn. It looks like he may not advance the bill. He's actually the chairperson of the Committee on Streets and Services. And the Inquirer reported this week that PennDOT estimated that the project would cost the city approximately between $9,600 and $78,000, which seems like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
For bike lanes?
Yeah.
But bike advocates say that the project of bike lanes around City Hall is in line with Vision Zero, which is the city's plan to have zero pedestrian and cyclist death due to traffic.
Right.
But it's unclear right now where council stands on this project, where this committee stands on this project. A lot of hearings have been happening over the weeks. And bike lanes, you know, the more digging and reading and watching these committee hearings, bike lanes are so controversial.
Mm-hmm. So controversial. It always brings out the most impassioned residents, the city council meetings. It's what people either support or complain about the most. It is like it touches a nerve. What I'm confused about regarding the City Hall project is the road around City Hall. I was just there this week. It's all ripped up already. They already started it, right?
Right.
So now it's
going to sit there, I guess.
I mean, is there a better illustration of our broken government than the road around City Hall being ripped up for a simple project that now is in limbo because of some political decision that we don't quite understand?
Well, I don't even know what to say.
It's the center. This is around City Hall where they make decisions. Then the road's all ripped up, and you drive on there. It's like, mm-hmm. Well, think about that when you're driving on there. That is your government not always working smoothly.
Matt, another wacky thing that came out this week is the fact that the art museum has a new name. Previously, the Philadelphia Museum of Art is now the Philadelphia Art Museum. We've been calling it the Philadelphia Art Museum for years.
Yeah.
Right? Or just simply the Art Museum.
Yeah, sometimes PMA.
Definitely didn't. I
never
didn't do the PMA. I just said the Philly Art Museum.
Right. Yeah.
Or the Art Museum. Right? But the institution is taking it a step further. So not only did they change their name officially, they have a sub-brand, and they're calling themselves FAM.
I think it's FAM.
Oh, it's FAM.
I like
FAM.
It's Philadelphia. Since the new name is Philadelphia Art Museum, as opposed to Philadelphia Museum of Art, they're calling themselves PHAM.
FAM. There's also a new website.
I think I like your pronunciation better.
FAM. I'm going to the FAM.
Yeah. Look at some art. The FAM.
Run up the rocky steps and go to the FAM. There's a new website. There's a new logo, new signage. All right. The logo looks like a soccer club crest.
Yeah.
Of like a giant, like a dragon phoenix thing.
It's a griffin, which I wasn't familiar with that word.
Griffin. It's gritty.
But it does look like the Drexel University dragon, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my gosh.
I know we're a little cynical about this change, aren't we?
So we got FAM, we got a new name, and apparently the museum guards are getting new uniforms so that they're more inviting. We're also going to get more live music events, but the museum hours, someone pointed that out.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why they're doing this is because the visitor numbers are down. They are having trouble attracting people. And, part of the reason, as people were pointing out this week on the internet, they close at 5:00 every day except for Friday. Like, why should an art museum have banker's hours? Who's available other than tourists and school kids to come at 11:00 on a Monday to the museum? So they are talking about, as part of this rebranding, doing more nighttime events, having DJ sets. They were talking about getting the Roots in as like a house band for the museum, but certainly later hours and maybe having events that bring people in to see the museum, but also do something else in that beautiful, gorgeous, spectacular space. It is an absolute, we love the art museum. It's an absolute gem of our city, but it is not used enough, frankly, right? So maybe shifting those hours a bit will help. I don't know if the new name or the new logo will help, but I think making it a place for us to visit in the evenings and after work could really do wonders.
Yeah, and I love to see more artists of all types of different mediums be invited to the space to host programming. Let's have some affordable studio space maybe.
Oh, wow.
And make it less expensive for people.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, it is not cheap to visit. It's like 30-something bucks a ticket. But they have like
First Sundays.
First Sundays are free, I believe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pay what you wish.
Pay what you wish.
Yeah.
I wish to pay nothing. That's why I'm here on a Sunday.
No, Matt. Support these institutions.
Right, of course.
All right. We'll be back after the break. All right, Matt. What are you doing for the weekend?
I'm going out of town, taking the boy fishing in Virginia. We're going to take an Amtrak down there, going with some friends. Friend has a house on a river down there.
That's cool.
But I feel like there's a lot going on this weekend in the city. What are you up to?
Oh my gosh, yes. So first of all, there's a new restaurant called Rockwell and Rose. It's right next to PJ Clark on 6th and Walnut Street. They've got steaks, seafood, and cocktails. I had the autumn stroll this week, and it basically was like a fall margarita.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I want some dark liquor in there next time.
Yeah, like rum?
Yeah, and more spice.
Uh-huh.
Smack me in the face
Nice.
during that first sip.
Yeah.
And they have a
cool.
s'mores cheesecake, which was like light, not heavy, which, cheesecakes can tend to be heavy. So go check that out. Y'all, I'm so excited for the 8 Seconds Rodeo.
Here we go.
I've got my outfit laid out and my cowboy
Nice.
boots. So that's going to be happening at the Leah Course Center. Temple University is having homecoming this weekend. Go Owls. The U.S. Navy is celebrating their 250th anniversary this weekend, so roads will be closed around the FAM.
It just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it?
So roads are going to be closed around the FAM.
Wait, the Navy's only done 250 years? You've done 750 episodes. No?
And we won't be here on Monday.
Indigenous Peoples Day is Monday, and there's an event over at Penn Treaty Park in Fishtown. This is the 9th Penn Indigenous celebration. It combines traditional, contemporary Indigenous art, music, dance, storytelling. There's food, and it's at what is known as Shakamaksin, which is now Penn Treaty Park, and there's a tree there that's a descendant of the historic elm tree, which is where the Lenape used to meet and sit for council. And it's also where the legendary Lenape leader Tamanen signed the 1682 Treaty of Shakamaksin with William Penn. So crazy history there going
We
back
have so much history in the city.
literally almost 400 years.
Mm-hmm. And as always, before we go, we want to shout out our CityCast Philly neighbors. Pew, 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 pew. I'm so excited that Timothy R. is our new neighbor. Hey, Timothy.
Hey, Timothy.
As a CityCast Philly neighbor, you'll get tons of perks like merch, invites to our member-only events, and I will shout out your favorite business or nonprofit on the show. So head over to membership.citycast.fm. Our neighbor Deborah wants to shout out Play On Philly. It's a free daily after-school music education program. Whoa. Serving children in Philly. The program develops and inspires behavioral and personal skills for the kids. And children learn how to play instruments while doing this. I think this is so cool. My kid is playing the trombone.
Oh, nice.
I've
I've got
squeak.
I've got a cellist in my house right now.
That must be so peaceful.
It is more peaceful, especially when there's no practicing ever happening.
Right.
There's no sounds.
I mean, she just keeps carrying it in
Exactly.
from the trunk of the car
Yes.
back into the living room.
I'm doing most of the carrying, but yes.
Well, Matt, thanks for joining me on CityCast Philly.
Have a great weekend, Trenae.
That's all for us today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producer is Abby Fritz. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Siani Colon. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from all the kimonos. If you enjoyed the week of episodes, you got to share the link in the group chat and maybe subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back Tuesday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye. Eagles are not playing on Sunday.
No,
What am I going to do?
you can watch another football team.
Why?